Hunter Biden, by the way, Mika brought up his name, just gave an interview to ABC News. We're getting a look at it ahead of the debate tonight. The timing was interesting that they put this interview out the morning of the debate. Joe Biden obviously will be asked about this at some point tonight. He called the idea that he was working with Ukraine a ridiculous conspiracy. He says the president and his Rudy Giuliani are pursuing a ridiculous conspiracy. He said he had no ethical lapses and promised that when, he said, Joe Biden becomes president, he will not work for any foreign countries or sit on boards of companies overseas. Here's a piece of that interview with ABC News.
If your last name wasn't Biden, do you think you would have been asked to be on the board of Burisma?
I don't know. Probably not. But that's, I don't think that there's a lot of things that would have happened in my life that if my last name wasn't Biden.
Why did you leave the board in April?
It's a 5-year term.
And you chose not to
I chose
continue.
not to. Yeah.
Why?
I think it's pretty obvious why.
This is your opportunity to say why.
Well, because I think that this is what becomes a distraction, because I have to sit here and answer these questions. And so that's why I've committed that I won't serve on any boards or I won't work directly for any foreign entities when my dad becomes president. What I regret is not taking into account that there would be a Rudy Giuliani and a president of the United States that would be listening to this ridiculous conspiracy idea, which has, again, been completely debunked by everyone. Did I make a mistake? Well, maybe in the grand scheme of things, yeah. But did I make a mistake based upon some unethical lapse? Absolutely not.
So, Joe, the ridiculous conspiracy that Hunter Biden is talking about there is one that Fiona Hill was testifying about up on Capitol Hill yesterday, and John Bolton called a drug deal.
Well, it's been debunked by everybody. I mean, everybody that was in government then. It's been debunked by everybody across Europe, by the IMF. It's been debunked by Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal on the front page, while the opinion page was whipping up conspiracy theories. They obviously didn't read the front page of Rupert Murdoch's Wall Street Journal, who called it a discredited conspiracy theory, something along those lines. But I thought Hunter did very well.
Yeah,
I think
that was good.
I never met the guy.
Yeah.
I knew Bo, but you know what? Own it. Yeah, I don't think. And by the way, I'd love to see a lot of media people here say, "Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible when your children might get jobs because they're connected to their parents." I want to hear that. And Donald Trump, the last human being on the face of the earth that can complain about children getting places because of their father.
That's right. Joe, first, welcome to Nats Nation.
Nats Nation.
Stop it.
Just to rub it in.
Yeah.
That's baseball.
So, what we saw there is the Hunter Biden come at me strategy. And we saw it in July with the New Yorker article when he sat with Adam Entos, gave him astonishingly frank interviews, let them ask anything, went through everything. And we're seeing it again in this extensive ABC interview. One way that national polls do matter, like they're helping Biden in this way. I've always said people don't vote like pundits. They vote like people, right? And that's your life experience. But it's funny, what campaigns are hearing this year, so people are so concerned about beating Donald Trump that they're hearing that people in this early stage are saying, well, maybe I like this candidate, but I think someone in Michigan, Wisconsin, or Pennsylvania would like Biden. And that impression, as long as that lasts, is going to help him in those early stages.
So what I want to know, Jason, is this. Why is it taking Donald Trump, not Donald Trump, why is it taking Joe Biden so long to punch back aggressively? Because I'll tell you what a Republican would do.
Yeah.
As a former Republican, if somebody that bad said, let me tell you, this guy is so sleazy. These sleazy tactics are beneath contempt. What I'm saying, all that I have been through with my family, all that my grandchildren have been through.
I agree with this.
They are dragging not only me, they are dragging my wife, they are dragging my children, they are dragging my son who survived an accident that killed his mother and sister. They're dragging them through the mud and the pain that my grandchildren are feeling. Donald Trump, because he is so desperate to continue in his job and help the Chinese and help the Russians and help It's not that hard.
And Freeze, you should hear that tonight.
Why
You should do that
can't
word for word.
Democrats fight like Republicans?
I don't know where the Uncle Joe is that earned the nickname Uncle Joe. He used to be the guy who said, a guy like Donald Trump, I'd take him behind the bleachers in high school. Remember
Well,
he was
he
making
said
those kinds of
that.
comments.
He has said these things.
But he needs to
No,
be
but
more
he just
aggressive
hasn't said
about
it
it.
in the way Joe just
when it
did.
comes to your son, he should be out there saying, look, come for me. Come for me. You got a problem, come for me, Donald Trump. Because I'm the one you're afraid of.
He said, leave my family out of this.
Not man
He's got to show more anger and more
Yeah.
disgust. And like I said, Mika, as you said, he is comfort food. He's mashed potatoes and gravy and everything else
In
like
a
that.
good way.
In a good way.
Yes.
That's what we want in Ohio.
I'm
We
getting
live in Ohio.
hungry.
We want that.
He's the comfort candidate.
So the question is, why can't he do that? Why can't he say, be a man, pick on somebody your own size, stop attacking no, Mika, it's one thing. Saying you're going to beat up somebody behind the gym when you're 78 years old, that doesn't sell.
No, he said, leave my family out of
Okay,
this. He has really punched back against these things,
Not
and
hard
we have
enough.
aired them. Not hard enough.
Hard
Okay.
enough. I would take the man down and just let people know, you attack my family, I'm going to grind your political bones to dust.
Yeah.
And they will be blown away in the wind.
Okay, he has not
You
done
have to
that.
be very
Never be
careful
seen
with your
again.
language on the debate stage.
No, that would be very on brand for him, and it would be very fitting the times.
Yeah.
And like you know this, Mika, you had one of the last real interviews with him, and he knew that people were going to come at him. And part of
Yeah.
his mental getting ready for this, he knew that he was going to be torn down, and so he's ready, and that's why it surprises people that we haven't heard more of this.
Yeah, Ed?
Okay.
I think the hesitation that he's shown in punching back in the last few weeks has got to be partly because, where's the Uncle Joe? He was Amtrak Joe, as you remember. He took the train. Hunter was on the board of Amtrak. I mean, there are some awkwardnesses.
Well, Hunter was also on the board of the largest bank in Delaware. But did you see what Hunter just did? Hunter owned it.
He owned
Yeah.
it.
Come
That
on,
was
yeah.
exactly the right
Embrace
thing.
He was
it,
very good.
Attack it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's exactly Yeah, the right thing to do. But there is an awkwardness there because it wasn't a meritocratic process that got him on the largest Ukrainian gas company. This was because
Again,
he was son of the
you
vice
asked the
president.
question, David. If somebody says, "Oh, your son's on the board of Amtrak," I go, "Oh, really, Donald? Well, your daughter."
Is in the West
on
Wing.
phone calls with foreign leaders. You just put her on. You let your daughter sit down for you when you get bored at international conferences. Again, it's
Biden
like,
wants a
what's
contrast
fair for the goose is fair for the
himself
gander.
and his kids and President Trump and his kids. He does not want to say, well, see, we're all alike. You've got Ivanka, I've got Hunter. I think that what Hunter needs to say is, I made serious errors of judgment. I went to work for a gas company in Ukraine that is widely described as a corrupt company. And while my father was talking about Ukraine, I said, what's not appropriate for me? And because I think that's the public gets that.
He should have never been there.
He shouldn't have been there. And he should just say it. That's
What do you call
what he
it?
should
Soft
own.
nepotism in your
Soft nepotism.
What he should
Self-nepotism.
own is telling the truth. And I think that Biden's problem is he needs to be tough and scrappy, but he needs to look America in the eye and say, as I look back on this, I probably shouldn't have talked about Ukraine. When my son
And by
was
the way,
working
if he
for this
does want to be
company.
compared to Hillary Clinton, he shouldn't act like
can't have
Hillary
it both
Clinton.
ways.
He's got to own
Look,
it.
stop
like
being
the
so-
Clintons
stop being so
don't. Just say,
cautious.
you know what I did?
Exactly.
I screwed up. I should have. I was going through so much.
Yep.
I had so much going on in my family with Bo. I should have gone to my son and said, "Get off the board right now. You can't do it." I didn't do it. I screwed up.
It's not against
It'll
the law,
never
by the
happen
way.
again.
I got to say
What he
this,
was
though.
doing.
We were just talking about this before. Look, America loves billions in succession. I don't think anybody in this country
No
is going to be
problem with
shocked that he was working on this board. That's not the issue. That's
Hillary
responding
Clinton was
to Trump's...
doing speeches,
Exactly.
but it wasn't okay
That's
how much money she made, and then she railed against people making money off state universities.
But it's not him. I don't think people are that mad about it.
Exactly. It's
Correct.
not him. The thing is,
Correct.
Hillary, just like Bill, they never embraced the crises in front of them. That's what Joe Biden needs to do. I screwed
All right.
up.
All right.
You see, I've had so much practice
Yes,
saying
you
that.
have.
It's so easy.
Okay.
And people go, okay, we'll do better next time.
That
Coming
will
up,
not hear tonight.
we'll have the Washington Post Bob Costa joining us, also former governor, former presidential candidate John Kasich will be joining us. That's just ahead on Morning Joe.